Hey, entrepreneurs, are you trying to make bigger profits in your small business? If you're like most of us business owners, increasing your profitability is always on your mind. And you're probably looking for ways to grow your revenue while growing your company. Well, you found a podcast that shares ideas to help you do just that. I'm Marcia. I'm a business growth strategist. I've helped tons of small business owners to establish and implement a tangible plan that guarantees increased profitability, guide your growth, and plans for your future exit. Because building a highly profitable and sale-ready business creates a win-win scenario. That's more money now and a windfall later when it's time to let go. And I'm looking forward to sharing strategies that I've learned with you on today's Profit with a Plan podcast. But before we get started, I have some great news to share with you. I have launched the 30-day Profit Booster training. This is where I'll show you how to get an increase or a boost of 45% net profits in the next 30 days, just by following a simple 3-step method that doesn't require you chasing more customers. This quick and easy profit boosting strategy can be done without spending more money on marketing, hiring additional staff, or working longer hours. Go check out the 30dayprofitbooster.com for more information. All right, folks, I've got a surprise for you today. I've got a special guest on the podcast today, Bulut Akisik. He is the VP of Enterprise Growth for Jotform. Bulut is out of Turkey, so he's just had some crazy times. If you've watched any of the news, you know what's going on in his area. So we had to do some rescheduling to get him back in. But we're so glad he's here. He has 10 years of product management, growth marketing, and demand generation experience with an MBA degree and solid entrepreneurship background. He has led multinational and cross-functional teams in fast-paced companies and startups, launched more than 20 tech-heavy SaaS products, worked with Fortune 500 companies, and founded with exiting 2 startups. Bulut is also an inspiring science fiction author. I got to ask you questions on that one, but welcome to Profit with a Plan podcast.
It's nice to be here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you could make it. And I know that we heard a lot of horror stories about what went on with Turkey. And oh my gosh, I'm just very happy to hear that you and your family are safe. And all of our hearts go out to Turkey and in the Syria area with the earthquakes that went on.
Well, thank you very much. Life stopped for a couple of weeks, and still, there's no way to recover from this fully because thousands got affected. So we're just trying to get back to normal as much as we can. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, listeners, there's still opportunity out there. I know this is not a push to anything, but find ways of donating. They need your help. So great. So on to good parts here. And thank you for finding the time to come back and jump back on the schedule to get you in for the recording. So we're glad. Now, talking about today, we're going to talk about something different. So what's on everybody's mind here as of late is that if you haven't been hiding under a rock, you've heard about ChatGPT, right? So the AI world has exploded. But there's another side of the technology world that has exploded as well, which you are fully engaged in, which is, I think you're calling it open source or no code. And I want to call it something else, but no code. Using no code on the internet to produce things like forms and repeatable processes. So I'd love to dig in on this because this is something that we probably already use without thinking about it, but we don't think about it. So I'd love to ask you some questions about it and get into it.
Yeah. So exactly as you say, you're using no-code solutions all around. So let me just give you a brief introduction about what this is.
Yeah.
And, because it's think about in a business and go back 30 years past in the calendar.
In the darkened times.
Yeah, yeah. So, application development was a hell of a job. It was really cumbersome. So, computers was not accessible to everybody. So you need to hire, big academicians were doing this, not even engineers. Then, time passed on, companies started to emerge, and then engineers started to, rise in numbers. So they started to build, uh, you know, software applications with one aim to solve, business. Let's say not one aim, but like one of the biggest goals for, making profit, as the main topic of this podcast was to, build custom solutions to businesses to solve their problems. So years go by, companies started to, witness this. So every company at core, I mean, you could be coming from you can be from the same industry, but your use cases could vary a lot based on what you do, based on who your employees are, and so on. So, but not everybody has access to resources that that would let you build your own custom fit software solution. Think about, say, the CRM and invoicing solution, whatever. So
Sure,
at
it's very
this,
expensive to build your
yeah,
own back then.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and still is. And I mean, even though these are really, I mean, you gave an example from ChatGPT, like you can even make a code, but it doesn't, end there. So this is actually where, in the last few years, the no-code terminology started to, take some headlines in our industry, which meant exactly like this. So any business persona, say the business owner or someone who's not a developer, can build his or her own custom software solution. That's actually what no code is. You see drag and drop builders all around, like email solutions, etc.
Yeah.
These are no code solutions.
So okay, so that's funny because I didn't put that two and two together. So I use, the drag and drop solutions for websites, right? Or if I'm going to build a form, or if I'm going to do even an invoice, right? Like you said, I'm going to drag pieces together for that. I never put two and two together to say that that's no code. So
Mm-hmm.
do me a favor, take us a little bit techie. How does the no code work then? I mean, is it just pictures, right? Because that's what made Microsoft really user friendly, was that it was that kind of movement.
Mm-hmm. Think about your website builder, right? Normally, what you have to do is, let's say, you're selling something online, or you offer some services, and you need
Mm-hmm.
a website to, market your services, and you need a form there, right? You need to. Normally, a developer, uses some programs, and actually starts coding, puts, goes over, uses some,
Zeros and
JavaScript.
lines and ones and
Exactly.
those kind of things. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, this is the developer way. So when it comes to, non-tech, any day user, yeah, I mean, what you have to do is, like, I mean, you just drag and drop a form field, and it's just, you're actually, the action you do doesn't seem like coding, but in the back end, it's actually structuring you out your own solution. You're actually
Ah,
coding from the computer's point of view, right?
right.
So this is actually how it works in the most simple terms.
I love it. I love it. So someone has designed a function, right? And you're moving
Mhm.
the function around on the page. Me, the the
Yeah.
the tech tard that I want to call myself, that I'm moving, I'm able to move these things around and create the document or
Mhm.
resource that I need, or website, add an image, or add a
Mhm.
contact me, or some,
Mhm.
pretty button that's on there,
Mhm.
because it's all the stuff is done in the background. I don't
Mhm.
see it, but in my
Yeah.
mind, it's like, oh, this is super easy. I can do that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what all business owners want,
Yeah.
is simplicity. They don't want to necessarily wait for the hiring and
Mhm.
the technician to do it and then come it. We're in that instant economy, right? Where
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
go on Amazon, we want it today or
Mhm.
tomorrow, and
Yeah.
with business and technology, we also want it today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, apart from the cost, timeline to deliver is something, as you said, like say you're about to do a discount campaign, right? You need to collect some customer information. You know, if no code wasn't there, you know, you had to, you know, talk to your, you know, engineers or whatever, you know, some agency, and they would build you something, you know, out of box, customized for you with a huge, much higher price tag, and it would have taken time.
Yeah.
But discount couldn't wait because Black Friday is coming in 2 weeks, for example. That's actually where it comes to play the most.
Love it. Love it. So it gives the business owner that flexibility, that fluidness, and that instant lifestyle that they're so accustomed to and all of life that comes their way anymore. And they can put together something quickly and have it available. So,
Exactly.
well, you know, we're talking about no code, but in reality, we're talking a lot about Jotform. So tell me how Jotform makes it super easy for us to be able to do the stuff that you're saying, you know, have that form ready, sell that extra thing on Black Friday.
Exactly. So, you know, we are a form first company is the way we like to put. So, you know, let me explain the history of Jotform for a little, you know, just a few minutes, because it's actually the story behind Jotform is kind of reflecting on what we built. And it's actually, I see a huge resemblance with our founders' story about, you know, anybody watching this podcast, because back in 2006, our founder and, you know, current CEO was was in need of building a lot of forms for his business. And it was really cumbersome. So he built Jotform so that, you know, nobody else would, you know, encounter the, you know, same hustle, let's say. So that's actually coming from there. So, you know, you drag and let's say, you know, you want to do, you know, collect data from customers. Say you want to sell something online. You want to build an, you know, workflow. You want to collect payment receipts, whatever, you know, just to build a contact sales form for your service business. All starts with a form because form represents a human communication, just like you opening, you know, grabbing the cell phone and, you know, answering someone. So all is doable just by dragging and dropping what you see. And like, you know, we call it as what you see is what you get builder. It's also a term like no code. So you just see some fields, some attributes, images, whatever. No need to be tech heavy. None of let's say more than 90% of our user base are not tech heavy, and mainly are small businesses. So all they do is they just look at the image of what they want to do and just drag and drop it. And they just, you know, get something working for them based on any of their use case.
Right. Well, that makes total sense. You know, for us end users, and I love it the way creation and enterprise is often developed out of the need of the original user. You know, he wanted the simplicity and ease, and then he's like, gosh, you know, there's got to be an easier way, right? And created this system for no code and made his life easier and his staff's life easier, and then all of our lives easier because now we could do the things that we do. I know that you know, funny enough, I don't use it enough, right? So I'm as an example, we talked about joining on to the podcast. I said, let me send you an email of what I need. I need your headshot, I need your introduction, you know, that kind of stuff. And you're like, why don't you just put that in a form? And I'm like, why don't I put that in a form, right? These anytime you have a repeatable process, right? Where I'm doing something frequently and it's generally the same thing and I'm accepting data. Why didn't I put that into a form, right? I mean, it would save me tons of time to do that. So so listeners, why aren't we using more forms to systemize the processes that we're doing every day? I guess is the ultimate conversation we're having here to make life easier on everybody involved. I think we get scared. I think we get scared that it's like, oh, wait a minute, where did I put that? Or is it harder
No.
than I think it is? But it really isn't, right? I mean, we're just dropping and dragging onto a page, and
Yeah.
then where does that information go?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next question.
Yeah. And like one thing that immediately our customers and our users, by the way, I mean, 18 million people are using Jotform every day. And like they're mainly like the much bigger percentage amongst those users are, small business owners. I mean, we see uh, like the immediate reaction we get is, somewhat similar to what you said. I mean, we thought it would be like, we used to have this old-fashioned workflow in place. Someone's
Mm-hmm.
printing something on paper, passing it to the next guy. They're putting it on Excel, for example. So immediate reaction we get is that, like, it's much easier than we expected. And actually, it made, I personally heard one of our customers saying that I'm able to leave my job earlier thanks to you guys, because this was the use case. I never forget it. Like, the guy was selling apples. We're literally selling apples, over, phone calls, etc. So the guy started to send out our forms. So, Jotform ties with hundreds of different payment gateways. So it's actually, think about the entire workflow. So the guy sells the apple, collects the payment, it goes to its Stripe account or, whatever bank he's using. I really can't recall that. And then there is the order processing side, right? Like, you need the CRM or something like that, or at least print the invoice on some paper and then pass
Mm-hmm.
it to the guy, some person who will deal the logistics. So we have a different solution in house for that, which is also, you can use it for free. And then from there, the guy is also the same guy builds the invoice, sends it automatically to his customer, and then all gets booked onto QuickBooks by an integration. So it's actually, once the form is filled, all is done automatically. So poor guy's
All you
job is
have to do
done
is
just
have
by the form.
all you have to do is have someone put the apples in the box and ship it out, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the integration all works in with everything else. So are you using something like a Zapier, or is that something that Jotform does? Is it allows the integration as well?
Yeah. We have native integrations, more than 200 of them, but we also support Zapier. So like
Okay.
it's impossible not to connect Jotform to anything. Let me put it this way.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic and completely eye-opening for me, because it's like I keep coming back going, Marcia, why are you still doing it that
Yeah.
way when you can do it one way and have it simplified? So thinking in my space, right? Or in any kind of professional service space, you have a job, right? You send off a form to say, now that you've agreed, I've sent you the proposal, you agree to it. Here, fill out this form, enter your credit card information here, or the processing, how you're going to pay me. Put in your data into this form. It's not me taking it from an email and writing it or entering
Yeah.
it myself. It's the client entering it. So there's no
Exactly.
spelling errors. And then it saves on data processing on my side. Then it comes into my system, goes on to my CRM or Excel or what have
Yeah.
you. And I now have that person in the system without having to take information and transpose it or
Yeah.
have error probability and time of data entry.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it seems so much easier. And I'm sure that information, right, can go on
Yeah.
to the platform now and can send out with invoices
Yeah.
and can be I'm just it's
Yeah.
exploding.
This is actually, again, this is how we like to build the products, because, the essence of Jotform is coming from this, making the life easier for such occasions. So, I mean, I really like to put it this. So our Jotform's motto used to be world's easiest form builder, like 2, 3 years ago. We change it to this, like powerful forms get it done. So just think about it like this. This is how I like to put it. So forms are just a way of collecting information, right? Just like human. I mean, just think about you're selling lemonade over a stand, in suburban area, right? So you need to talk to people. You want ice in it. How many cups you're gonna buy? This is form doing its job, but it doesn't end there. You don't collect data to collect data. You have a job to accomplish. You need, you need data to do something. So we actually built everything that would required by you to complete those tasks. So we have this drag and drop workflow builder. We have a reporting solution. We have payment forms. We have anything in between, so that without going nowhere, just have this single product. So just going back to what I said in the beginning. So normally you need to have an engineering team. If you're in a big company, like you'd be using something like SAP, Salesforce, HANA, something like that, and you had teams of people building custom solutions tailored for your need. It's impossible for a small business, even for big
Ridiculous in
companies.
time,
Yeah,
energy, money,
yeah,
delays,
exactly.
learning
So
curve. Yeah.
yeah, no code actually solved this, and in Jotform, this is actually where we excel in. So like you kind of just drag and drop stuff. You're the one who knows the workflow, and that's all you need to know. I mean, you need to know how to use a mouse, and like you need to have good understanding of how your workflow works, and we have
Yes.
all the bits and parts to make it complete. It's
And
actually how it works.
I think the gem you just dropped here gently without making a big scene about it is you've got a lot of pre-built forms already
Yeah,
designed for me. So maybe
yeah,
I don't even have to drag and drop anything. I just have to
yeah,
understand my workflow, go pull the form I need, maybe clean it up a little bit, throw a logo on it, change the colors, something really simple. And then I've got something, right? I don't have to
yeah,
create because I can just pull out of your library of commonly used forms that are
yeah,
already built.
yeah.
Talk about
Exactly. I mean,
making
this
it
is
easier for you,
yeah. I
everybody.
mean, yeah. I mean, all I've been explaining is that like you need to drag and drop. You don't even need to drag and drop from that perspective. Like we have form templates, we have spreadsheet templates for all this table. We have workflow templates. You can even build your own app using Jotform, and like we even have like more than 50,000 of them are there.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, it's just really easy to use, and like I'm forget about to mention the apps actually. So it is think about like this is actually I think the perfect example because everybody has an app, right? Like even the grocery in the corner of your
Right.
in your area has an app now. It's kind of mandatory thing. So you can even build your own app. Just dragging and dropping. Fields, images, just like that. So
That's
that's
amazing.
yeah,
That's amazing. I think I found a new rabbit hole to go play in, right? I'm sure I'm going to get in there and pop up and it's already 5 o'clock in the daytime.
yeah,
But I think the whole idea of using these forms is to simplify your workflow, right?
yeah, yeah,
Everybody's got it, whether you're a one-person team or you're a five-person team or you're 100 people on your team or more. You have common workflows of the things that need to get done on a frequent basis. Why
mhm,
not systematize it in a way that makes it easy for everybody, consistent for everybody? So John's not doing it different than Susie's doing it. It's all the same process. And
yeah,
then you, business owner, have all the data that you need to be able to market, to be able to make good decisions, to be able to look at your
mhm,
numbers and accounting, to be able to make sure that your business is running at its optimal level.
mhm,
And you've just simplified the whole process that everybody goes from
mhm,
onboarding to billing to fulfillment.
mhm. Yeah,
Why not?
yeah, yeah.
Why
This
not?
is just to enjoy your day. you know.
So you can enjoy your day and go watch Bobby's baseball game or go hit
Yeah,
a golf a ball occasionally or maybe take a nap.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
there's all sorts of things that free up your time once these
yeah,
processes and systems are in place. And to be able to use software, it's not like you're having to recreate the wheel. It's already there
yeah,
for you. So this was a big eye opener, Blue. This is like, I never thought that this would simplify my business. I thought it was always just a, hey, who's coming to the party order form, or registration. Hey, I need to know how many, whatever it is. Here, put your name in here. I didn't think it had the potential of really systemizing your company in a way that I never thought.
yeah.
That's
Just
mind
to give
blowing.
you just to give you a quick tip, you know, I think more than 95% of our 18 million users, all are business users. I
That's
mean,
fantastic.
once you go in depth, you see, and like all you have to do, I mean, I mean, we see that like our users are getting so accustomed to this, no code approach and making, having ability to do all these things in a glimpse of an eye. Uh, it's just templates. So they build templates, they share templates. I mean, we see, like, for example, it was the COVID era. Uh, the pharmacies were actually sharing their templates over Jotform's template directory with each other.
What?
So that, like, yeah, just, they were just putting their own logo and it was just there. Then the vaccinations and so forth was done. So they don't have to deal with, all the, let's say, all the stuff that you need to do so that, you can start doing what you have to do, you know?
Right. Focusing on what's important instead of
Yeah,
on
yeah,
on the
yeah,
tasks. I love
yeah.
this. One of my guests a few weeks back suggested that we plan in our week or in our month time to improve our own processes, right?
Mhm,
And what a perfect time for you on a Friday afternoon, business owners, on a Friday afternoon to carve out an
mhm,
hour and create a couple forms that are going to simplify your day, right? Ask your team members to go create a couple of forms to
mhm,
simplify their process, and you plan that out in an hour, and that's when they get to improve the process they're doing, so that way they're involved, they know what they need because they understand the workflow, and now you've given them the freedom and allowance to make your business run better. What a perfect opportunity to join onto
mhm.
Jotform and start putting those forms together and making things more simpler. Great idea. I think I'm going to implement that this
Yeah,
Friday on my own
yeah,
time and put that in
yeah.
place. This has been really great, Blue. Where can listeners find out more about
Mhm,
Jotform, some of the templates that you have, and so that
mhm,
they could implement this stuff like right
mhm.
now?
Yeah. If they can, you can just go to jotform.com and then you would see templates immediately right out there. All you have to do is just write Jotform templates on your Google search bar, and it's impossible to, unsee it, let's say. And then you can just take it off from there. Yeah.
Love it, love it. And you mentioned you've got something coming up here. You've got something exciting coming up on the
Yeah.
23rd.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to dig a lot deeper in, more technical use cases that you have, and so, more advanced scenarios. So we'll be having an open webinar on the 23rd where we discuss, how no code can help you reduce your IT costs.
Oh,
Actually, we will have our engineers, we will have our customer success managers talking about some cases. And, they will also, we are hoping to bring in some of our big enterprise customers and then talk about their cases and how, the amount of money we help them save during the time frame they've been with Jotform. So it's going to be really thrilling. So it's going to be on the 23rd. I hope you would mark it down on your calendars. So we're all going to be
sure.
there. Yeah.
Sure. So give us a time horizon. When is that on? Is it a recording? Can I watch it a little bit later if it's not matching my time calendar? And where do they register for it?
So I'll be sharing you with the link. So there'll be a registration link, which is done by a form that we built using Jotform, as you would
Yay.
expect. Yeah, and then we will also be sharing the recording. It'll be turned into a PDF where you can read. So as long as you just drop your email to us on the link that we will share, it's just we will find you. we'll get you the
Perfect,
material.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. This is perfect timing, everybody, to improve as we're in getting ready to go through into our second quarter of 2023. I just released in my blog on Sunday, which was as the times change, we should continuously be changing as well. But this is a perfect time to look back at what we've been doing, set ourselves up for success going forward, and improving our processes by using these forms and Jotform to help us simplify what we're doing every single day. So I encourage you to go check out the webinar, get yourself some forms, start improving your processes so you could do more, and be more profitable. Wow, thanks. This is going to be great, and I'm definitely going to watch that webinar. All right, listeners, I hope you found a couple ideas to put into your business to help you be more profitable. I know having systematizing your forms and getting your workflow to go faster and smoother and consistent, this is the way to do it using Jotforms. And while you're at it, if you'd like to do a 45% boost to your net profitability in just 30 days, don't think it's possible? Of course it is. Check out my new training called the 30-Day Profit Booster. This quick and easy profit boosting strategy can be done without spending more on marketing, hiring additional staff, or working longer hours. Get more information at 30dayprofitbooster.com. Bulut and I would love to hear your questions or comments. What is the first form you're going to put together right now? Go into the chat. Tell us what you're going to do. Tell us what maybe you'd like to do and what your next form you're going to do. And we'll chime in and give you some comments, feedbacks. Maybe Bulut will say, hey, have you thought of doing this too? And so hit us up in the chats on that. And while you're at it, subscribe to the show. You don't want to miss next week's show as well. So catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. We're looking forward to more great profitable information on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thank you so much, Bulut.
Yeah, it was a really pleasure to be talking to you. Thanks a lot.